Hey everyone, Steve from the forums. Just thought I might do a little quick video. Uh, so basically, for the last couple of years, I've never really had or invested money in a really good power supply. But after some convincing from Dr. Base in the forums, I decided to go ahead and get this great deal on these Meanwell SC1048 power supplies, and they're capable of about 17.5 amps. At about 120 volts. Oh, sorry, I should say, sorry. That's what it inputs at 17.5, but the output is 20.8 amps at 48 volts. Word on the forums is that this should actually be able to produce about 1200 watts, so it's actually a little bit underrated here. So it'll go about to 1200 watts. Now, these power supplies do require the current limiter board that Fetcher sells on the Endless Sphere forums in order to work. So I'm going to do a quick video here. So this is one that's open, and here's the little limiter board that I built. And basically, so try to point this out as fast as I can. So this is the positive tab. So this goes to the positive on the limiter board. As you can see, the little yellow wire where it goes. And then the negative, which is on this side, the wire goes to the negative side on the limiter board, so which is right there. I just want to make sure nothing shorts here. Limiter board right there. Here's my negative wire in my hand. Positive wire that goes to the battery. And this the little sense wire, which little pink wire there. So it'll say 2.48 volt sense. Let's try to get a little bit of a better. It goes to right there. So I'm just going to show you. It actually says, I believe, it says OPV. Try to get a focus on there. So that's where it's soldered to. Don't want to load it too much because I don't got any well, there's a cooling sink on it, but it's still open, and I don't want to load it too much. But no, this is nothing. This is just not to worry about that. Just so you know, anyone that buys it, you basically have to short these two here to enable 120 volt mode on the power supply. So it's these leads right here. These are your AC, that's where it goes into the wall and stuff. So you just got to short these two, and it'll actually say short for 120 or 110 volts, whatever. So these are my new zippy light bulbs I just got today, and these things are monstrous. I mean, they're huge. I don't know how else to explain or compare size wise, but look at this. Look at the Hobby King bouncer and the zippy light bulb. So it's pretty monstrous. So just want to show you the potential this thing can do. I just got it working a couple minutes ago, so just going to turn up the limiter board. Now these light bulbs can take up to, I believe it's 4.5 C, so I can't damage them with the power supply. So I'm just going to try to see if I can manage to do this. Just give me 1 second. Alright. Probably not going to work too well. Try to turn this with one hand while I show you the current. Hopefully I don't blow anything up. I haven't tuned the voltage or anything. I'm assuming it's roughly the right voltage. I think the voltage is a little bit off, so we're just going to touch it. And you can actually hear this power supply scream. I mean, 14 amps. It's actually humming a bit. So we're going to turn it down, just because I don't want to damage anything on it. But let me just see. I mean, I'm not going to complain. If this thing does 14 amps at whatever voltage it's at, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm not sure if the limiter board is stopping the. Hold on a second. Seems like I've maxed out the potentiometer on the limiter board. So that limiter board's pretty much maxed out, and my voltage, doesn't matter what I crank it to, it only hits about 14 amps. So I assume that the shunt that Fetcher used on this limiter board is only allowing up to 14 amps current. Dead on, pretty much. It just stops at 14 amps. So I think that's pretty good. I mean, I know the power supply will do more, but I actually kind of think that's a good thing, because that will allow me to make sure I can use this power supply on my wall outlet. So, 15 amps at 100 volts is the limit pretty much of my wall outlet, I believe. Or actually, no. I'd have to do the calculation, but I think that's quite good, because I don't think I'm going to use the full potential of it. So I'm going to shut this off before I melt something. Okay. It's actually really cool to the touch, and it looks really well designed, I have to admit. I mean, for all the Meanwell power supplies, I mean, I bought a couple of knockoffs back in the day when I didn't know what I was getting, and this one looks pretty well built. It doesn't have power factor correction, or PFC as it's known as, so it's not a top of the line power supply, but it is a lot better than probably what you guys will find with the cheapy eBay $50 or $60 power supplies that are probably rated for like 6-7 amps. So it is I mean, it does require the little limiter board, but overall I think it's pretty well built, and it does have a Meanwell logo, so it's genuine. So anyway, so that's my review for these power supplies, and I think I'm gonna leave Fetcher with the question of is that shunt limiting me to 14 amps, and I'm going to probably say yes, because I know the power supply can do 20. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one.